It's a beautiful setting. New Hampshire, the Granite State, where today's New Hampshire 300 is under caution. Caution for John Andretti getting into the backstretch wall off of turn number 2. Some 91,000 on hand today for the New Hampshire 300, presented by the new film Behind Enemy Lines. And let's take a look at what's happened so far today. Here's our Pepsi race recap. After the patriotic salute, 42 cars went to the green flag on an unseasonably warm day, temperature in the low 50s. Lap number 26, Tony Stewart, after bouncing off Sterling Marlin a couple times, then dusted the right side of his car up against the wall, just for good measure. This was the first caution of the race. Right front tire went down on Michael Waltrip's car. The first of many tire troubles we've seen today. Dale Earnhardt Jr.'s had a bad day. Not only that bump with Bobby Hamilton Jr., but his car's been handling terribly. He's way back in 34th place. Buckshot Jones gets drilled by Kenny Wallace. Kenny trying to stay in front of leader Jeff Gordon. Buckshot wound up on the bad end of that deal. Into the outside wall. 2/3 of the way through, John Andretti bringing out the final of the race's 5 cautions so far when he got turned into the backstretch wall. That's what's happened so far in this New Hampshire 300. Tire troubles have been the story for the day, plus Jeff Gordon leading. Gordon's led 190 of 205 laps. We go racing with 90 laps to go in the New Hampshire 300. Jeff Gordon, Bobby Labonte, and Tony Stewart, the top 3.
You see the bubbles on the 24-18. Those cars are on the lead lap. Cars on the inside headed by the 32 of Ricky Craven. 1 or more laps down.
Big jam up there. Looked like Ricky Craven had trouble getting up off of turn 2, and Dale Jr. had to jam the brakes. Let's mention that on the last lap of caution, Brett Bodine, on the lead lap in 20th place, came down and topped off the fuel.
And we see him 3 wide going down at turn 1. Oh, Kyle Petty on the outside, barely squeezed in. Jason Leffner, I think, backed off and gave Kyle a break there.
.77.628. Those in that group that are on the lead lap racing for a spot. Presley, Martin, Rudd, also the 93 of Blaney, also in the lead lap. That'll be 6th, 7th, 8th, and 9th. On the restart off of turn 2, I mentioned the big jam up. Let's take a look from Dale Jr.'s onboard camera.
Still out.
He gets in the back of the 0-1 car. Jason Leffner, which allowed Robbie Gordon, the 31, to drive by, and also Sterling Marlin.
Tell you what, great drive for Robert Presley today. I know we've said it before, but here's a guy looking for a job for next season.
Well, I would guess this is the best way to apply on the racetrack, running in 6th position with less than 90 laps to go.
Yeah, in this business, you're only as good as your last race, so it's nice to have a good finish on the last race of the year.
It's catching a glint of that sun gleam from that camera inside of turn 4. It's never really been an issue here in New Hampshire in the past, but we've never raced this late in the year either. I wonder if that's going to get to be a little trouble down this front stretch at the end of the day. Maybe just coming out of turn 4.
Yeah.
Yeah, grandstands will probably shade a lot of that.
Hopefully they will. You saw the sun that Alan was talking about. Tell you what, we'll go on board with Jeff Gordon and see how his visibility is as he goes in turn 3. So far.
I got you though.
Now as he turns and comes off turn 4, here's the sun that.
Not bad at all.
Not bad at all.
Well, it's not bad with the camera sitting on the roof, but looking through that windshield, you're looking up out of the windshield with more of an angle, so it might be a little bit worse than that shot right there. How about it, Bill?
Well, that looks pretty good, but he might have had a vision problem
but the 2014 was able to fix it. These teams have tearaway plastic covers on their windshield. So during the race, instead of cleaning the windshield, they'll rip that plastic off. Well, the first time Tony Gibson went to rip the plastic off of Jeff Gordon's windshield, it stuck because there was so much glue. He basically couldn't get it off. So he had to like pat it back down and then send him back out. So now what they're doing is they're just cleaning that windshield because all the glue with the sun beating down on it basically won't let the tearaway tear away.
Yeah, you can see that, Bill. I just circled it right there. That glue is stuck to the windshield, and that is hard to clean off. But it's not really in a bad spot for Jeff. He can actually look a little bit lower to the left out of that windshield.
Certainly compared to what we saw at Atlanta last week, that's nothing.
Yeah.
Bobby Labonte hanging pretty tough. And these guys I talked about are running 29.50 back about 50, 60 laps ago. Last time by, Jeff Gordon ran 29.30. And he can't leave Bobby Labonte. Labonte ran a 40. That time, Gordon ran a 29.42. Bobby Labonte a 29.43.
Bobby Labonte moved to 6th place in points with his win at Atlanta last weekend. He's only 87 points behind Dale Jarrett for 5th place. So he could make quite a little rally here in these final couple of weeks of the season.
And Jarrett is currently back in the 15th position.
And Bill, you were telling us a story about Dale Jarrett when the caution flag came out. Why don't you pick up from there?
Okay, and I'll just update you also on DJ's car. They added a spring rubber to the right rear. That's why he had an extended pit stop and is a little deeper in the running order. 15th last time I looked. But we wanted to tell you the story about the picture, the card that DJ's carrying on his dashboard. On the card is a picture of Amber Lynn Vail. She was a precious 4-year-old from Washington, New Jersey. As early as 6 weeks old, she was diagnosed with health problems. It turned out to be a rare liver disorder. So she was treated, but naturally spent a lot of time in her house. One of her favorite things to do was to watch out the window every morning for the UPS truck to come by. And then it did. She always went running through her house saying, "Mommy, Mommy, it's the big brown truck, the big brown truck." Well, unfortunately, earlier this year, in fact, on June 18th, she lost her battle and passed away. Her mother contacted the people at United Parcel Service and told them about Amber's love of the truck. The people from UPS sent a truck to the funeral home and parked it out front because that's what the mother requested. They also gave her a small UPS truck and a small UPS teddy bear that the family took and put in the coffin and buried with Amber Lynn Vail. Her mother said it's one of the sweetest things they've ever seen done because her daughter got a tremendous amount of joy of seeing that truck drive through her neighborhood. But there's more to the story. Amber Lynn Vail was an organ donor. Her 4-year-old heart was removed and placed in a 2-year-old in Cleveland, Ohio. And also, both of her kidneys went to 2 other recipients. So at 4 years old, she leaves a long legacy as an organ donor. And perhaps her last wishes were granted to her and her family. Today, Dale Jarrett salutes her memory and her organ donorship in his race car by carrying her picture and her thoughts.
Little Amber delivered life to somebody else.
It's a good story, Bill.
Pretty big.
There you saw the picture inside the car you talked about just a moment ago, and it is worse, the sun, a little bit worse from inside the car than the camera on top of the roof.
So Dale Jarrett running back in 15th place after the extended stop to make the adjustments on the last caution flag. He's got a lot of ground to make up if he's going to have a good finish and be in that fight for those top point positions. Jeff Gordon trying to move away from Bobby Labonte. 0.8 of a second is the advantage now. 75 laps to go in New Hampshire.
NBC's coverage of the NASCAR Winston Cup New Hampshire 300 is brought to you by Behind Enemy Lines. On November 30th, it's time to cross the line. By Miller Lite. Grab a Miller Lite. It's Miller time. By Dodge. You can take life as it comes, or you can grab life by the horns. Dodge. And by Circuit City. We know how you feel. That's why we're here. Circuit City. We're with you.
70 laps to go here in the New Hampshire 300. Jeff Gordon has absolutely dominated this race. He's led 215 of the 232 laps so far. Third place has changed hands.
You see the 31 car of Robbie Gordon has gone by Tony Stewart and taken that spot away. And Ricky Craven up now all of a sudden, the 32 car has gone, this is what, a lap or two down, 2 laps down. He just drives by the 20 car of Tony Stewart. Now he's going by Robbie Gordon, but I think Gordon is still up to speed, isn't he, Marty?
He is still up to speed, Benny, and he's very happy with the set of tires. It took a while for him to come in, but when it did, they came on very quickly and very fast. Robbie Gordon very good on the track, better on the longer runs, passed Tony Stewart very easily, and they could go all the way if they needed to on fuel. But Gil Martin told me I don't think that's going to be a factor.
It's pretty big.
Bill.
And Tony Stewart, who's had a fine handling car and no problems today, is still running all right, just a tick loose at this point. So that's contributing to his minor problems on the racetrack.
It's a pretty big bounce back for Robbie Gordon in that 31 car after not qualifying at Atlanta last weekend.
Yes, sir.
I mean, that could destroy a team, but you also can use it as motivation to go out and the next time and do well. And it's not that Robbie Gordon, the team, has chosen to use that as a motivational tool to make them better.
I want to go back to follow up on what Marty said there a minute ago about going all the way. They stopped with 99 laps to go, went back green with 90 laps to go. Tire, we heard Phil Homer from Goodyear say, and we seem to be hearing from the teams too, the tire issue is getting better as the race goes on. So, we're going to see anybody try it.
Well, maybe, Alan. I think maybe one of the reasons are, so you see Jerry Nadeau go by the 17 of Matt Kenseth. We heard earlier that we were told that the track temperature was up in the 70s. And now it's dropped down into the 50s. And the way these shadows are getting on the racetrack, that track temperature is going to come down. That's good news for tires. That's what these tires need right now is a cooler racetrack so they won't blister so much. So you may see some guys trying to go that distance.
And again, the key number not shown there is the fact that the track temperature in the peak of the afternoon sun got up to 70 degrees.
Right.
How about old Nadeau?
Great run for Jerry Nadeau. He goes by the 17 of Matt Kenseth and is trying to get by Mark Martin. This is the battle for the 9th spot. Oh yeah, just drive up on the inside.
And by. And here comes Kenseth. Nadeau started 41st. Came within a half a lap of winning at Atlanta last weekend. Came up about a quart shy on fuel after leading 41 laps. Today he started 23rd. And as BP said, he just took the 9th spot away from Mark Martin. 63 laps to go in the New Hampshire 300 from the New Hampshire International Speedway.